I'm Lisa Kowalczyk, Executive Director of the Medicine Hat and District Chamber of Commerce, and I'm joined by Francisco, who's a Business Development Manager with VClean. Welcome, Francisco.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for reaching out and letting me come and share our story during this pandemic times.
Absolutely. So tell us a bit about VClean and the value that you've been offering to businesses.
Well, VClean is it's a private janitorial company here. It's Alberta owned. Our owners are based out of Edmonton, but we have offices in all of the major cities. So Calgary, Medicine Hat, Lethbridge. Myself, I lived in Medicine Hat for a bit, so I got to just become a part of the community and have interactions with people like yourself. And so yeah, Medicine Hat has a soft spot for me. So know the operation well, know the city well. So.
And obviously COVID has kind of changed things for a lot of businesses, and a cleaning company would be critically important now, particularly with the new health guidelines. So what have you been doing to cope with COVID-19, and how has VClean adapted, some of your operations to adjust?
Yeah, so it's really interesting how COVID has kind of changed the way that people look at cleaners. Before, cleaners are almost like ghosts in the night. People come into their offices and they know that it's been cleaned, but they don't necessarily interact with those people every single day. Oftentimes they don't see them. And so now in this COVID world, it was interesting to see how cleaning has become an essential service. So highly important, especially to keeping not only, your staff, your buildings, also the general public safe, in order to slow down or even prevent the spread of COVID-19. Cleaning has become a major, an important part of everybody's day to day. So when it comes to COVID-19, it's a very unique pandemic. A lot of my senior vice presidents, they don't necessarily. It's all new. We have pandemic plans, and things have happened before, like the swine flu or SARS a few years ago. But COVID-19 has really been a different type of pandemic. So at first, VClean established national pandemic committees. We obviously activated and went to all of our pandemic plans, ensured that our cleaners were trained, and were able to exercise the job that we do now in all of the buildings in order to keep people safe. There were aspects that we weren't necessarily planning for, but because of our relationships with different industries, for instance, supply chain, ensuring that people have access to procuring hand sanitizer or masks, or you wouldn't believe, but it was extremely hard to find dispenser stands. Those type of things were either being kept in certain areas, just like the United States, or had to be procured here in Canada some way, somehow. So because of the relationships that we had, we were able to ensure that all of these supplies were available to our clients.
Yeah, and certainly I think cleaning and sanitization has been so top of mind for so many people, and it has been challenging to source and obtain some of those supplies. So it's great to know that when we have companies like yours, it's a little bit easier because you already have an established supply chain.
Yes, absolutely.
So for your company, what are some of the supports that have helped you deal with a pandemic? So obviously you're helping a lot of companies with the cleaning and sanitization and making sure they have the right protocols in place through using a service like Be Clean. But obviously as a business, you need supports as well. So is there certain resources or information that have really helped you get through this time?
Well, it's been very useful to be able to rely on the national and provincial uh, aids and regulations that have been put in place. All of our protocols are based on what the provincial government is recommending, um, even all the way down to what specific chemicals are considered uh, useful in order to combat the virus. We've been able to work with our clients who vary from property management companies, third party property management companies, or small businesses um, to be able to help together work as a team to establish um, a pandemic uh, map, if you were to say, so that we can, you know, help tailor to each business what is the best form of attack um, to combat the pandemic. So yes, legislation has been a great aid. Being able to um, have experts within our ranks. Actually, our vice president, who is one of the co-owners of Be Clean, um, he's a biochemist. So that's his field of expertise. So we've been able to kind of get ahead of all the curve because that's what his profession is. So he's been able to create all of our COVID-19 protocols, and it was almost like Be Clean was ready for whatever was coming. So that's really helped.
Well, and that's amazing because you really, Be Clean deals with so many different types of businesses and all of them have different requirements and different guidelines. So it's nice that you have the expertise, particularly in-house to deal with that. Now, I know we've been hearing from a lot of businesses that, the information is quite dizzying. Like there's so much information out there. And from a chamber point of view, we've been trying to sift through that and make it a little bit easier for businesses to understand. But have you seen, what are some of the challenges that you've been seeing within businesses, or, are there other supports or other information that you see has been needed?
I believe like every business initially had the same challenges. How are we going to approach this? How are we going to ensure that people maintained safe social distance? How are we going to provide hand sanitizer stations at entrances and common areas? Um, and I think that in the very beginning, our clients in different industries relied on Be Clean to help guide them or help um, and help even with the rollout of some of these things. For instance, in some buildings, we have sanitization stations where there are Be Clean employees at every entrance, um, just kind of helping people guide. Here's the hand sanitizer station. Would you like to wear a mask in the like? Will you? Do you need a mask, or do you have your own? Type those types of things. One of the things that a lot of the tenants in the big buildings here want cleaner visibility. So as I was mentioning earlier, before cleaners were very rarely seen. Now, in order to ensure the public trust, there's cleaners that are constantly sanitizing common areas and touch points, going through and doing door handles and elevator buttons and um, counters and tables, so that people can see. You can walk into a building and now you see cleaners consistently disinfecting and sanitizing.
Absolutely. And I think that's great. So what are some of, we see so many businesses adapting and evolving and adjusting, through COVID. So what are some of the things that you're looking forward to as a business as we move forward through this?
Um, I would say looking forward, um, I see a more need for more thorough cleaning. Before the industry was the industry was becoming a minimum wage industry. So especially with the changes that have been to minimum wage, it was almost like who could provide the most quality service for the cheapest price. Now I don't see the same trend. It's almost like people want a high quality service, and to ensure that, they're willing to um, invest in 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 what's needed. So, for instance, right now, if there are confirmed COVID cases, um, businesses aren't hesitating to spend the money to go in and to uh, decontaminate a space by using electrostatic foggers, um, which requires a different type of specialized cleaning. People are willing to invest in that just to ensure that space is adequate and safe for when employees return. Um, so I see uh, even now, and I work a lot with RFP bids, and there is now a COVID-19 component to those bids. So it's become pretty standard practice that we need to be able to have these protocols in place moving forward, in order to provide the service that our clients are requiring. So I definitely feel a greater importance is coming into the cleaning industry, higher investment by companies who are looking to ensure that proper practices are in place, and yeah, looking forward to continuing to learn and to adapt with the pandemic, and hopefully the pandemic isn't here to stay. So looking forward to just getting back to normality and whatever that's going to look like in the future,
Yeah.
and
Well, it's
working
been
towards.
interesting to see some of the technology emerging that is used more. Like you mentioned, the electrostatic sprayers, and those are the really cool device, cleaning device. And I'm sure, like many businesses, we've had to expedite technology and adaptations within our workplace, and that's no different for cleaning companies, I'm sure as well, right?
Mhm.
So, what one piece of advice would you offer to other businesses?
Um, I would say to follow, um, even it sounds pretty basic, but social distancing, washing of hands. If you were to, cough or sneeze, to ensure that you're not, you're being careful, sneezing into your arms and things like that. It's self-assessing, ensuring that if you do have symptoms, that you're not that you're staying home or self-isolating, because we're doing that with our cleaners. If they travel and go to a place that's like a hot zone or hot spot, we are encouraging cleaners to stay home and to follow the guidelines that we've been given. I feel that if you are prudent and that if you are cautious, um, there's no reason why that shouldn't produce good results. And I feel that we have all of those basic instructions given to us, and if we follow them, we'll be okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Francisco. And if people want more information about Be Clean, what's the best way to connect with you and your team?
So the good thing is there's probably a Be Clean office near you. You can always check out our website at www.beclean, which is bee-clean.com. There's great information there, and great information about COVID-19. Or you can call one of our offices, and you can definitely get a hold of somebody like myself in any region, and be able to just find out more about what we're doing in your area, and how we can help you and support you.
Awesome. And you guys are on our business directory, so they can go to medicinehatchamber.com, and if they can't remember the web address or are looking for that, they can always find you there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Francisco. It's been absolutely a pleasure to catch up again.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. It's been awesome.